I picked up this mechanic special BMW E46 for only $1,000 running and driving because the previous owner had a crazy invoice of over $3,500 for 3 major issues. And in last episode, we already fixed 2 of the issues that was wrong with the BMW, which was the leaking oil filter housing, the only oil leak on this BMW. The thermostat was also leaking from the gasket, so we upgraded that with an aluminum thermostat. And after all the repairs from last video, we're currently at $1,100, way below the $3,500 invoice that the previous owner received. So hopefully we keep up with that same momentum and we're able to fix this for way under that budget. I'm Macho, this is Macho Motors. Let's get into it. After last episode, you guys mentioned that the fan clutch shouldn't be spinning that freely at all. So we went out and bought a brand new fan clutch to put in. Let's pull this into the garage so we're not out in the cold and get to work. Here is the fan outside of the car. Didn't want to bore you guys with me taking it out, but spins very freely, which you guys told me is not supposed to do that. So let's get the new fan clutch in and see what it's supposed to look like. We're back here at the workbench, also known as a piece of cardboard. Gonna spray these bolts down with a little bit of penetrating fluid because we don't know how long it's been there. And this thing takes a size 5 Allen key socket. That's one loose. That's 2. There we go. And now we have 2 pieces, the fan and the fan clutch. And then now going back on the same way, now we have a new fan clutch. I don't know if the tolerance is supposed to be this tight, but I'm having crazy difficulty even trying to spin it. This one was extremely loose. Gave the fan a little bit of wipe down. I missed the spot I can see in the camera, but we're gonna go back in with the fan and fan clutch assembly. This time I kind of just snaked it out of here, so hopefully I can one-hand this and snake it back in. You wanna be careful not to break any of the fan blades because the fan doesn't like that. And we're in. It's just getting the fan started onto the water pump. Once you have the fan started, this part is pretty fun because all you do is flick the fan to the left to tighten it up onto the water pump. And then once it doesn't spin freely like that, you just got to tighten it with your BMW tool and then you're done. All right, we have the shiny new fan clutch installed, everything put back together. Now let's start up the car and see how she runs. Fresh startup. Still no check engine lights, but we do have a washer fluid reservoir level sensor light thing. And I will say the fan is blowing much harder now. So definitely a good call for the fan clutch. Thank you everyone for commenting that. Now we're gonna dive into the lower control arm, and definitely not today because there is no space in this garage to be able to really do that. And also figure out the issue with the windshield washer reservoir. Pretty sure it's just empty and needs a top off. So we'll top it off in the near future. I'm on my way to pick up a set of wheels that is crazy cheap on Facebook Marketplace. It's been on the market for a while. I lowballed the guy. He said yes. So we're on our way right now, only 20 minutes away, and hopefully we score a winner. All right, everything looks good to me. Cool. I'll load it up and then I'll pay you the money. And a tire and wheel and everything. Yeah. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. I should be good from here. Yeah, this one's going on an E46. Okay. But they're all the same at the end of the day. And people wonder why I have this ugly van as a daily, and this is the reason why. Super easy, and I have room for another set of wheels if I wanted. Back home. Now that we hopefully have the engine all situated, it's time to deal with the suspension. On the invoice that the previous owner received, they said that the lower control arms are in need of replacing. We're not going to check anything. We're just going to go ahead and replace them. And hopefully they weren't lying. So far, it seems like they've been pretty accurate with the thermostat and the oil filter housing. I'm going to trust that they are doing the right thing with this one. We also have to address this mismatch wheel. So, got to take it off first. Here is the lower control arm. First look, nothing crazy bad. They have 3 spots where it connects to the car. One is here, which is usually the common failure point. And last one is right here. Checking for play here. Just to be honest, I don't see much. Honestly, not much play here. And unless I'm checking something wrong, I'm not seeing anything crazy here. So moving forward anyway, this bolt here is a 19 millimeter, the two 16 millimeters for this one, and lastly, the hardest one is a 21 millimeter right here, which is located right there. Before we start removing the lower control arm, there's typically a splash tray underneath the BMW here and a reinforcement plate somewhere around there. I already took those off, and here they are to the side, looking extremely filthy, so we'll eventually clean these, just not right now. Our priority is removing those lower control arms. So here's my setup for the first one. We got a weird little wobbly end for the socket, then a little wobbly end here, and then have the 19 millimeter socket just like that. And hopefully this bad boy will just pop out for us. And with a few extra wiggles, we got the first bolt out. This is the second easiest bolt to take out. The next one is gonna be a pain. It's gonna be hard for me to film because the bolt is like way up in there, but this is how much rotation I get out of the bolt from one turn. Look right here, that's it, that's it. And then I gotta flip it and then do this all over again. So I'm gonna be here for a while. It's a moment like these where, do I actually enjoy working on cars? What is it that's enjoyable? Is it the satisfaction that I just did it? Or are we all just in delusion and we think we like working on cars when we actually don't? And right here is the bolt progress so far, so we are making progress, it's just slow. I think now, since I'm gonna be here for a while, is a good time to ask you guys, hey, have you liked the video yet? And subscribe if you haven't already. Yes, I'm loosening it by hand. Yes, we got the bolt. Oh, that was the hard one. Last one is very easy. I just need a break, so I'll be here. Last two bolts we have are right here. Should be nice and easy to take out. All right, since this is my first time doing this, I went out and bought a pickle fork set. So you don't know, this is gonna go in between the ball joint and the car. We're going to hammer it from this end, so bang, 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 and hopefully that force will pop out the ball joint. So let's try it out. Now going in with several whacks.
Several whacks later.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm gonna just keep trying. This is the biggest hammer I own. What's going on?
The next day.
I gave up on the pickle fork method and I went out and bought a ball joint separator. We hammered it into place and now hopefully we can finally pop this out. But even after bottoming out the tool, it still wouldn't come out. I got a little fire involved and still wouldn't come out. So that plus the hammer finally. Nice. Now we have the lower control arm completely loose, so let's figure out what was the problem. I have both lower control arms out. It's really hard to tell with these ball joints what was the issue because we destroyed it with the pickle fork. This one here shouldn't do that. Same thing as this one. Very loose. This one we didn't punch or bang out. It was just two bolts and it fell off. So pretty sure that this was our issue. Here's the new one, not attached to anything, and I can't wiggle that anywhere near as much as the other one. Pretty sure this was our issue, and if we just replaced this, we would have been okay, but safe to say we're doing the whole job anyway. So here is the brand new lower control arm with brand new ball joints and whatever cushioning joint this is. Let's pop this back on. Hopefully it's way easier than the removal. Got the first ball joint started here. Just gonna thread that on by hand. Okay, just gotta get this to line up some way, somehow. Whoa. Line up. And line up. Okay, good. We're gonna start putting this one on now. Time to wiggle out. Wiggle out. One day that lift is gonna come. For this part of the suspension, it has two little protrusions here. On the new, I'm just gonna call this a ball joint. On the new ball joint, it has two little sections cut out so that way you can position it properly. On the other side, there is none. So this side goes up towards the chassis. So now we're gonna have to push the ball joint onto here. And I heard we can't use grease for some reason, which makes no sense to me because if you grease this up and bolt this down, I don't see that ever slipping off. So we're just gonna use glass cleaner because I heard that's a decent lubricant and it'll dry after a little while. Just gotta jam it on there. Struggled a lot a bit, but I have it loosely put on there. Everything loosely put on together, so let's start bolting things down. All right, we're back in a familiar place. This time, hopefully, a little bit easier than it was before because we got new hardware that hasn't been sitting in this car for probably over 20 years. A lot of time has passed since that last clip because I went through a lot of struggles. So let me show you. I was tightening it for quite some time until I realized that the whole thing was spinning. Here is the old one. And as you can see, they have a little bit of an Allen key socket here. So you're supposed to put an Allen key in there to hold it and stop it from rotating, because if you just rotate the whole thing, it'll just spin as one unit. So the bolt was like maybe 2 or 3 threads away from being done. Eventually I realized it was just spinning, so I put an Allen key and then that was done. Last hurdle was these 2 bolts were having a terrible time lining up, and it's because I realized I pushed this in all the way and it's not supposed to go in all the way. So I pushed it back out literally the tiniest of bit and everything lined it up perfectly. And then now we have it all bolted back together, and definitely not torque to spec because I have no idea how you even fit a torque wrench in there. In that time, I took several breaks because I was just struggling and getting frustrated, which is totally okay. We did find a crazy Facebook deal, absolutely steal of a deal, BMW wheels. So we ended up pretty much getting 4 used tires, and now they're a size 17 instead of 16, which I believe looks a lot better on BMWs, which doesn't really matter for the whole value of the car, but it's just a bonus. So let's finally slap these wheels on, lower the car, and test everything out, and hopefully be done with this project. So first plus that I've noticed so far is there's no more clunking whenever I press the brakes, because I used to hear it every single time I just tap on the brakes. And now I hear absolutely nothing, and still no check engine lights. Mind you, we've only driven 0.4 miles, so I'm going to try to put at least 5 miles on it before we say anything or jinx ourselves. One thing I did notice, there was a lot of road noise coming out of the wheels, and after inspecting, could be either the fact that we still have 16-inch in the rear and 17 in the front. I didn't realize that these are directional tires, so this points to the direction of rotation. It's supposed to be rotating that way down, because that's the way the car goes. When you start moving forward, the wheel will start rotating that way. So I'm going to finish putting up the 17-inch wheels on all 4 and put the directional tires on the correct side, and hopefully we have way less road noise. The 17s, in my opinion, just fill up the space of the wheel well so well. Test drive went absolutely great. I felt no other issues. So now we're going to go ahead and clean the car, but we're not doing it here. I loaded up the trunk with the very sludgy underpans, so that way we can clean those off as well, along with the reinforcement plate. So that way we can have a fully clean underbody and also check for leaks a little bit easier. I'm excited to test out a self car wash because I haven't been to one in so long, and from what I remember, it used to be like $5 and you could have your whole car washed and air dried and waxed and everything. So curious to see what the prices are like now. So our main focus here is just working on the pieces that I have off to the side here and the engine bay, and just cleaning out the dirtiest parts of the car. Unfortunately, we still don't have a new front bumper for it, but I'm gonna still keep looking until the car is 100% done. Let's get to work. $5, but how much time? Honestly, pretty disappointed on the car wash because it's $5 for 4 minutes. That is ridiculous. This is my first time going to this one after over 5 years, and I didn't really get to do much with my $5. Yeah, we sprayed down the under tray, which was the most important part because it was super filthy, but I feel like it would take me $20 just to get a decent wash out of the car. But on better news, the car is driving great, no new issues, and it feels amazing. So we're gonna get her up to speed a little bit just to help dry off the car. The whole underside still looks pretty grimy underneath here, I'm not gonna lie, but with only the time limit of 4 minutes to clean this out, there's not much we can do. The lower control arms look absolutely beautiful underneath here, making the car look so much cleaner, or showcasing how dirty the car is. But we're just gonna go back in with the under tray and the reinforcement plate and call this underside done. And as far as the trays, this one came out pretty good. Not too bad overall. This one, we were kind of running out of time, so there's not much we could have done, but there's still a lot of caked on dirt there. So I could spend a whole bunch more time cleaning it, but we're just gonna slap these bad boys back on. Now it's time to tackle the last remaining light that we have on the E46, which is the washer fluid reservoir. For some reason, after we filled it up, it completely leaked out. I thought I was leaking coolant for a second, but it ended up being the washer fluid. It looks like it's just one 10mm bolt and a few hoses, and then should just pop right out. Now let's figure out where it's leaking from. Now we're inside nice and cozy, just gonna fill this up with some regular old tap water. At the moment, I'm not seeing where it's leaking from, and because it was all the way empty, I'm not too sure what the culprit is. So based on the water level, I'm pretty sure the issue was that this wasn't fully pushed in and allowing all the water to leak out. So I think all we really needed to do is just push this in a little further, because I don't know, whenever the last person messed with it, it pulled it out slightly and we had a leaking windshield washer. I'm not seeing any cracks. I'm not seeing it leak from anywhere else. So that's the only culprit I can think of. So I put everything back together, but it was still leaking. So I took apart where it was leaking from, which was that one nozzle that wasn't pushed in all the way. I'm pretty sure it was leaking from this little O-ring right here. So we're going to replace it, and hopefully we have no more leaks. Okay, got this O-ring out, and I found one O-ring that is pretty dang close. So we're gonna use this one, and I think we'll have a much tighter seal now. So I ended up having the wrong size O-ring for that. I put in a slightly smaller one, fit perfectly, and we filled that bad boy up with washer fluid, so now we should have no more lights on the dash. And now we are currently looking at an unbelievable sight, a BMW E46 with no lights on the dash and working turn signals. It's a miracle. After fixing all the mechanical issues with the E46, I didn't want to bore you guys with a cleaning video. In reality, it's just too cold to clean the car right now. If I were to spray it down, it would just completely freeze over, so I ended up just giving it a nice wipe down. The interior of the car, the previous owner didn't leave it really dirty. It went from looking like this to this. After a little bit of leather conditioning and vacuuming, helped to sprucing up the interior just a little bit more. So here's the final look of the Mechanic Special BMW E46. So I'm sure you're curious as to how much we spent on the BMW. After parts from last video and parts from this video and the $1,000 we spent on the car, we spent a total of $1,452 when we had an invoice saying it would cost $3,500 to fix up the car. Not gonna lie, that lower control arm kicked my butt a little bit, but for $1,452, we have a 90,000 mile BMW E46 automatic. And I believe automatic E46s with around the same mileage is going anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000. With the price tag of $1,452 all in, I think we scored really big. The only thing that we really weren't able to do to really complete this car and give you guys the satisfaction that you guys deserve is replace the front bumper. The only one I found was unpainted ones for $250 plus another $250 to get it painted. Is not worth it to me when we spend $1,000 on the car. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you stick around for next one, because we already bought the next car for the channel. I'm super excited to introduce it to you guys because we got some stuff coming, okay? We got stuff coming. I'm excited. But if you guys want sneak peeks, make sure to follow me on Instagram, macho.motors. And thank you everybody for purchasing the Macho Motor merch before we completely close the store. So if you wanted your chance to get it, it is gone. It is done for now. And if you guys have any mechanic specials that you want me to try out, let me know in the comments down below. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. I wonder sometimes why you guys watch my videos, because I've watched some YouTube videos of other people working on cars, and it's like, hey, I'm throwing in a new motor in my 911 Porsche Turbo and swapping it to a V whatever. And I'm like, I could never do that. I don't have the skills to do that. I can barely do a lower control arm. Mind you, this is my first time actually doing it, but for you guys watching, I do appreciate you watching. Don't know why you watch, but I enjoy having you. Even though right now, technically, I'm just talking to myself.